Well, guys,
Also,
anyway, and when that's done, all the Men of Iron will appear, and you'll have to fight them, and it'll be a great time. Oh, hi guys, how you doing?
all right.
Oh, man, I can't believe Bobby was the villain all along.
Um,
I'm more surprised about the dog. Did you
and,
know how evil that thing could be? It doesn't look
Man,
evil.
fucking sun-kissed, man.
and then the plot reveal of Belisarius Cole just having one human arm just coming out of his back. It was wild. Anyway, that's
I
the
thought it was
story of
an ear,
Titan Death.
like being representation of that weird rat with an ear on its back.
Look, I don't know, man. I didn't write these books. I'm just taking the piss out of them. Anyway,
What if Sputnik was the mastermind all along?
Probably is. With all the technomancy, there probably is an evil genius in there somewhere.
I just spelt, instead of Scarlet Kingdom, I spelt Sacralec Killing Kingdom. Your influence on Mizi is getting too strong.
I am fairly certain it has nothing to do with the nanoscarabs, don't worry.
It's probably the nanoscarabs.
If the government becomes hostile with XCOM for any reason, such as alien interference or excessive damage to government property, the XCOM project will receive no further funding. This does not end the game and is potentially disastrous for the player and can lead to them scrounging out a miserable existence, stealing from other organizations in order to survive. Imagine trying to finish a game where it's like, yep, just going to bomb the UN real quick, and then I'm going to try and finish the game by robbing people. I will save the human race if they like it or not.
Anyway. So, hello, stream chat. How are you? Good? Very good. Excellent. So...
You can't see it, but I'm dabbing right now.
I needed to know that why.
Partially, this makes me feel like we should do webcams for this kind of thing, but at the same time, also probably not.
I mean, I have great makeup today. I am all for webcam.
If you want to turn this into the makeup show, where I'm doing it for like an hour and a half before we start, that'd be great.
I look like a garbage hobo, so no thank you.
Oh. I've just had a response from Osiron. He said he'll be here in 15 minutes.
Finally.
As soon as I start the stream, it's like, boom,
so
I
for
have
context,
activated.
Lovely listeners and lovely viewers, Osiron has been running late, much like I almost did because I was supposed to reply to Crusade. But he has run extra late, and it's run over our starting time. So we decided to start the stream without him. And we were prepared to go ahead without him if he didn't show up in time.
Yeah, so he wasn't responding to messages, but he's now responded, so it should be fine. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to apologise to you, the viewers, for the lateness of the next episode. It's been kind of hell for all of us, so...
Isolation is a bitch!
You'd think it'd be easier to manage 5 people when you're in a quarantine lockdown, but it turns out it's a lot harder than you think. Wild times.
We all have depression and want to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to go in the forever box.
For once, I actually feel okay.
You're in the forever box, boy.
Aw.
It's okay, I have a giant squishy seal here. He'll soothe my pain.
Okay, so again, sincerest apologies for the lateness of the stream, but things happen. Hopefully we'll be back on a roll, but sorry if this happens again. We'll try our best to not do that. But if you're interested in watching my content, because I will do impromptu streams if this doesn't happen, so you could always watch me and donate to the... I'm being sarcastic now. That's just... Okay. So I feel like we'll probably have to do a semi-broad recap, just because a lot was covered last session, I believe, so...
Including the fact that I have a crippling phobia of...
Sea monsters!
Gators.
Yes.
Okay.
Not so much gators, just
okay.
In space.
So
nobody expects a sea monster.
Nobody expects the sea monster. So last time on My Hero Inquisitor. That's the best I could come up with, guys. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm the pink one, ain't I?
You are definitely the pink one. I actually haven't watched the anime. Anyway, so you finally entered the orbit of the Imperial Forge world known as Keone. And after a I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember now because my notes are a bit.
And you're the one who wrote it.
Yeah, you had your internal private meeting with Luca, Inquisitor Luca, and his council.
Luca Valentino.
Yep.
Hmm.
You basically did some R&R stuff, some bit of character bonding, and maintenance of your gear.
We
Acquired
killed the man.
representatives. The attempted assassination of the Inquisitorial agent by Simon Haley.
I killed a man.
You executed that man in good grace. Good grace. Well done, you. And you've entered Keone. You've had disguises made for you by the tailor Brooke. You made planetfall. You got interrogated by a couple tech adepts before reuniting with Pi, because we've split them up with White, Hayden, and Pierce in one group as the bounty hunters, and we had Neve, Z, and Osiron, who came in as disguised tech adepts. Well, they are tech adepts, but aspirants to the Titan Forge. There we go. That's the word. That's the terminology we're looking for. You escape. You started making your long free day, which is longer than 3 days because there's a 34-hour day-night cycle on Keone. Trip to the Titan Forge. You started crossing a frozen lake and was attacked by a giant sea monster.
And that's when I started screaming.
Yes.
I started blasting.
And which we've apologized profusely about, because it did not. Turns out, Neve has a bit of a phobia of sea monsters. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that, and I felt really, really bad. So apologies for that.
I would like
as White just said, it is a bit of a weird. Well, it's not exactly just sea monsters. It's the whole idea of something coming out from the deep, and
which
deep
isn't uncommon.
Water.
Which really isn't uncommon.
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of most fears that we have aren't exactly rational in any meaning sense of the word. So it's understandable. I just didn't know. So
we repelled him back to the pineapple he lives
when
in.
it turns out your heavy stubber has explosive tips in the bullets because Solomon is a psychopath.
And it's just like, here, have high grade weapons.
And
like, thanks, Daddy.
And you cut off immediately after the initial just as soon as that combat little phase finished, back to where we were. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, in the back of the truck, Hayden is busily disassembling his rifle and putting it away. Pierce is kind of a bit flustered, and he looks to you and just goes, "Look, okay, those things are so rare. I thought they were a myth. I didn't think they was real. Please ignore what I said like 20 seconds before that happened. All right."
How does something reptilian grow so large in an ice field?
Most fascinating. Recorded for study.
Well,
also, lower regions of the water are moist.
Take tooth.
Yes, but reptiles are cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Obviously not this one.
Don't know.
I'd like to dissect it.
Yes, we can take the sample.
Well, if there's any left of it, and I don't really want to drive near the giant hole it dug itself out of.
The top half of its jaw is still on the ice bed.
I am
near the giant hole in the ice it burst out of.
I'm willing to go there.
Boy, don't do it. I'm not fishing you out of the pond.
I don't have to. I just might need help to lift it.
Okay.
No, that would mean more people I have to fish out of the pond.
Don't worry, I'm small. It will probably eat me in the hole.
Just imagining in this episode of Dumber and Dumber, you all fall in one at a time.
I'm less worried about things eating you and more worried about you dying of frostbite.
That too. We don't know exactly how cold that water is, but seeing as most of this lake is frozen over, I'm going to say pretty fucking cold.
Understatement of the century.
It's fucking freezing, yo.
I would like to
let Parus say fuck.
Say it. Drop the F-bomb. Do it, you coward.
Let Aerith say fuck. Okay, never
Let
mind.
Parus say fuck.
Okay,
Well,
who was driving? I think it was Z was driving.
Affronter.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Affront.
it was the front. It was the octopus driving.
I would like to ask Affronter to turn
Tokyo
around
Drift.
just quickly. It will not be long. I will be back very soon.
Okay, what do you ask Affronter? Sorry?
To stop the vehicle and.
Oh, he stopped after the thing kind of appeared away. So.
Oh well,
Yeah,
then I'm out of the car and running for taking specimen.
Boy, it's fine.
Okay, as you jump out the car,
bet
could
you
you make an agility?
two
Could you make
throws.
an agility saving throw for me, please?
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Nyah. Come on, my dear friend.
Character
Melvin, you
sheet.
have good
How
boots
he
for this.
dies.
It's just flat agility. If you don't have,
2.4 degrees of success.
you don't slip over and place plant the floor as you make contact with the ice with your regular industrial boots.
I thought this was planned, so oh well, never mind.
You haven't
I
got.
know,
You
but
didn't
on
get
ice
spiked
planet.
boots. So
Well,
you just kind of like stumble a little bit, and then you kind of maintain your pace as you go towards the specimen.
yes. I would like to record this.
Okay, you take your pictures, you make your notes and of what you
Take
see.
even a few measurements, just quickly. I pull out.
Even though you can't, it's not the whole of the top of the jaw, because kind of where White aimed, it kind of severed about halfway through.
Yeah, just sort of carved his jaw apart.
It's probably about 3.5 meters long, maybe 4 at a rough eyes glance.
It's a big boy.
Mhm. Is it possible for me to take a trophy, a DNA sample or some kind?
You wouldn't be able to, but Paris would have appropriate syringes.
Parus is back on the truck and is not coming out.
You
Oh,
could go
we
and
could
ask.
tow it.
I'm not bringing the truck anywhere near that giant gaping in the ice.
Then I would like to take my last cutter and chop out a little bit of it, and a chunk out of it, just
That's
enough for me to
amazing. I hate you.
You sever a part of the jaw that makes it
I would like to
convenient
take it
enough
at
for
a
you to
part that can
carry.
be identified and compared with other like specimens, so we can determine the full size of this mother.
You
beggar.
cut off part of its nose,
I presume it's
and
enough for-
you take some teeth samples as well.
I presume I take a teeth. Yes,
Yes,
A tooth, yes.
a tooth.
I take teeth. I can now pay in all currency, and I then waddle like a penguin back to the.
You waddle back, and I'm assuming you climb into the truck.
Yeah, just to ensure that I don't slip, and I climb back and see that wasn't that bad. I got this. I'll probably hold off a dagger-sized teeth, a short sword teeth.
So you've gotten some tissue samples, some rudimentary data, and some rough estimates on its full size.
Yes, and dinner in case Affronter or Sputnik would get hungry.
I'm just gonna say if when a siren, he probably would have done the exact same thing. So I'm gonna assume a siren also would have taken a sample of it. So that's fine.
Assisted, maybe even had lifted a huge part onto it.
Yeah. Okay. So you've now gotten all your samples for your research and documentation. Who's going to be driving? Is it going to still be Affronter, or are you going to give him a break after what just happened?
I think I'm gladly going to drive after this.
You get into the.
I mean, you, I, and Affronter can all drive, so we could just sit in the front in a little trio.
Who drove first? I think it was you, wasn't
was
it?
me.
Wait, yeah. So
Yeah.
you'd be probably a bit tired after all this. So who's it
Yes.
you're driving?
Sorry. Boy, take control of driving for a bit. I don't trust the octopus to travel too far, and
Yes, sir.
Due to the nature of what happened, Affronter's more self-preservation instincts kicking in, rather than maintaining direction, you've probably been taken about half an hour to an hour off course, but nothing like unrepairable of not knowing where the hell you are. So, and then you continue on.
you did good, Affronter. You did good.
What was that, Z? Was you going to say something?
My character would like to continue mumbling in short-term scientific notes about how the creature of this specimen
Okay.
would be conducted, and further investigations into its size in comparison with other creatures of its kind.
Okay.
And maybe a future comparison to Grog's-meat if suitable food source.
the time starts wailing, slowly starts sipping by, as shortly after the assault, the long day cycle starts entering its slow night cycle. It's a very short one, given only approximately 3 hours due to the season, but it is at least some kind of dark respite. You're probably not feeling quite tired, as you've probably only been on the planet's service maybe about 10 hours, so you could probably still keep going a little bit before you need to make some form of rest. Okay. As you carry on through the night, however, you are still finding yourself on the lake bed. But it's as the sun has now set and one of the 2 moons that circle Keone start coming into view, you get quite a pleasant view as the Aurora Borealis of the planet starts kicking in.
Aurora Borealis? This time of day?
Well, it's
in
night.
this part of the country?
right inside your minivan.
So, we see the ship from Half-Life.
Okay.
Sorry.
Underneath,
Portal.
there's a large. You start seeing a kind of like a lot. Right, just loud noise, and I got confused. Okay. Start seeing a kind of like almost firefly-like fish kind of start schooling underneath the truck as it starts glowing this nice, pleasant kind of eerie green.
So wait, is it bioluminescent fish or is it bioluminescent plankton?
Make a roll.
Okay.
I'd say perception or intelligence, whichever one you prefer to go for.
Victor's has probably put his feet up and is kicking
straight
back.
Intelligence?
Yeah, just go with a straight intelligence roll.
Oh. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not specialized with fish. But to say it is bioluminescent fish.
Something is glowing beneath the thing.
Anyone who is probably looking around would like to make any kind of perception test?
I would like to make a perception test.
Sure.
Since it's night, I removed the difficulties of doing so.
Since where the fuck is perception again? Where are you?
It's a basic skill.
Oh right, it's a base thing. Just flat perception.
I'm rolling
Flat
shit
perception,
today.
yeah.
Ooh.
Z.
Wow, it's almost a 1.
Are you rolling, Z, or?
I gain a plus 20 bonus at night.
Yeah, because it is because of your
goggles.
Oh shit! I should have gotten a plus. I should have got a +10 on that as well because heightened
So
sight.
it's an extra degree of success for you.
So should I just add it afterwards?
Yeah, we'll add it afterwards because it'll be easier that way.
Well, I get 4.
Yeah.
Same degree as me.
You start noticing a lot more of the wildlife seems to be kind of like in the area around you now. Kind of common things from variants of wild wolves and stuff like that, to a couple of the smaller creatures which are trying to tactically avoid them while getting whatever water they can from the broken surface of the lake.
I suppose us killing that giant fish probably made the situation a little less terrifying for them.
Logic would dictate that when the apex predator of the area is no longer in the area, the other wildlife feel a bit safer to come out.
Yes.
I
probably
We're
have
also
started...
further away from its area, so...
True.
Yeah.
True.
I probably have started on a little rant to a fronter sitting next to me, or maybe one of the bounty hunter about the possibilities of life underneath the ice.
If you're talking to Pierce, he'd be probably listening to and finding it quite interesting. If you're trying to speak to Hayden, he'd just be ignoring you.
Is Hayden still dicking about with his gun?
He finished that ages ago.
Right.
I probably have started talking just out in the air, and whoever listens,
bring it.
So Hayden, what kind of rifle is that?
He just completely blanks you. Pierce kind of like tactically speaks for him. Sorry about my my companion here. He's not one for words, all things considered.
Well, that's fair. I figured I wanted to ask him first before I made a guess. Could I roll? What would the roll be to check what the weapon type is? Just from
Let me see what
my
laws.
knowledge of guns.
Let me see what laws you
Gun
have.
boy.
I'm assuming you've just got Motion Militarum laws. So let's.
Yeah.
So I've not looked at these character sheets in a while, so I'll need to be reminded.
I have Common Law Imperium.
I'd
High Gothic.
say Common Law Imperium is probably the most.
Yeah. Right, let's see if I can recognize this guy's gun. No, I cannot. I really cannot.
Do you want to make like a? Let's see what you got here. Oh, you failed real hard.
Yep.
Probably you're not inexperienced with weaponry, more as just you're not used to the high end.
This is not something I've seen ever before.
Yeah.
That's outside of my realm of expertise.
So Pierce just kind of starts, has us quite sniggered to himself. He goes, if you really want to know what he's carrying, it is a variant of a sniper rifle, shall we say?
No doubt.
I think the common term for it would be a stalker bolter.
Huh.
It's unusual. It's unusual because he's had it slightly modded. He looks at the Mechanicus in front of him. It's just like he just whispers it to you. He's had it slightly modified to handle a little better, but and it looks a bit odd because of all the custom bits he's done to
if it's a bolter, I mean, those are not necessarily too fantastic to hold by human hands.
Yeah, and given that he's a bit short, no offense, he has to have it cased, but
still, that's an impressive piece.
he's
I currently am borrowing one similar, but not of the same size.
No, but to be fair, when you've worked for the Ordo Melius this time, typical sniper rifles don't quite have the stopping power you'd need to take down chaotic creatures, as it were.
So,
Also, I think our boy is here.
Hey,
He's
Siren.
arrived. It's alright, Siren.
Hello, I'm very sorry for being late.
It's fine. Anyway, all we've done is like just the initial startup, and you guys are on the move again after what just happened with the crocodile.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
got
we
it.
picked samples.
Yep.
Ellie
you
says
can
hi
help me with
too.
Hi, Ellie.
Ellie!
Ellie.
Just
Squeak
for
into
like
it.
backlogging, so people know that this is the case. Victus has not put that bolt pistol away.
Mm.
Like he's put it away on his person, but he's not like left it anywhere. He's holding on. And give it back to fucking Armalite himself.
Armalite.
Armalite.
I'm not going to
Okay.
call him anything other than that.
Question that. Okay.
After by the way,
Oh,
just because it's relevant to you, Siren.
Paris was actually asking a question.
Sorry, one sec. Just to say, Z's driving at the moment, Siren, and you've got a fronter on your person.
Okay,
I'm
good.
talking about the possibilities of subterranean life
Okay,
underneath us.
what was the question for Paris?
Paris was sorry. So Paris kind of shuffles a little bit over to Hayden and basically goes,
So, are you a member of the Assassin Order? Then.
He looks at you with a fairly blanket expression and goes, possibility.
Right.
Is it a positive possibility or negative?
I feel like even with your position and ranks that you have, I feel like you're asking too many inappropriate questions.
Forbidden
Don't
law
she
cry.
just kind
Inquisition.
of like raises a brow and shuffles.
Don't
away.
cry with these types. They're very good at keeping themselves.
Pierce just it's like, you're probably better off speaking to me than him, all things considered. So, I feel like because you are trustworthy enough to be, well, two of you here sat at Luca's table, no small feat, might I say. He is a member of the, and I always get this mixed up. 1 second. What are the three branches again? I forgot off the top of my head, and I'm trying to remember.
Is
What of the
Vindicate, Calidus,
Vindicate, that's it. That's the one.
Vindicate.
Endeavor sore.
Yeah, if you were ever saw, we were definitely proper fucked.
Yeah.
just a screaming midget comes out of nowhere and starts killing people?
He is a member of the Vindicae.
Well, he certainly didn't look like a Calexis assassin.
Definitely not. Yeah, he's a very good shot, all things considered. So don't upset him. He probably would
Let's
kill
keep
you.
him away from Eldar Farseers.
Well, if Pierce, because if we came across Eldar Farseers on this planet, I think we'd have much bigger concerns right now.
I mean, there could be worse things to find here.
Like
Worse
Xenos?
things indeed.
Like whatever gave birth to that creature. I just hypothesize that that thing was. Oh wait, never mind.
Do you want to? Sorry, do you want to finish that, Z, or you ending that line of thought?
I'm ending the line of thought as he realizes he doesn't want to end that sentence.
Okay, no, fair enough. Okay, after
Osiron. Roll 20.
a couple minutes, you get a call on the Voxcaster.
Oh, I guess we answer it then.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and you just hear a very familiar voice of a one Solomon Victoria. I can't believe you guys left without saying goodbye to me. I am hurt right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Solly. We had to make a move. You know how our esteemed host wanted us to
I
hit
know.
the ground fast.
I know, you can always like call, leave a message, say hi, you know.
Well, it's good that you
Like a hurt
good
girlfriend.
that you called us, because I just tried out that the present you gave us.
Aha.
We needed to deal with a boy. What would you describe it as?
Reptilian giganteus. I have seen specimens like this in the nature book.
It was basically a giant crocodile.
Giant
Okay,
ice
yeah.
water crocodile. It's just like,
That's terrifying, am I right?
yes. Oh, I see you. Well, I'm glad at least you inquisitorial types used it on dangerous animals and not the innocent population.
Come now, it'd be rather inefficient to use this on a population.
Also, do you think so, Lovax?
I just assume that most people in the Inquisition are psychopathic killers.
Not yet.
I guess it helps with the job.
I was expecting the worst, and you guys didn't disappoint me. So thank you.
Well, thank you for the special ammo.
Anyway, there's actual meaning behind this phone call, though. So I need
Very
to
well.
contact.
What is a phone? You mean Vox, right?
Vox call?
What is a phone?
What is this phone of which you speak, Solomon?
You
But
go.
anyways, go on.
So, due to my illustrious position of being quite close with Inquisitor Harpak, I am privy to some information that most people who are unofficial members of the Inquisition wouldn't have. And I think it's important to note. So, to start with, we have some good news, actually. The agent that you've recovered, she is tangentially conscious at the moment.
Oh, good.
She's
Who's currently in charge of seeing to her?
Currently, the good Janine is currently assisting with that. I told her that I told the Inquisitor that she is someone of you can sincerely trust, and she is being kept responsible. She's only kind of started making mutterances of words. She's under even stricter surveillance than she was before, but she's like coming around. I don't know how long it'll be before she properly wakes up, though. But
is that transcript present to this?
sorry, could you say that again, please? E?
A transcriptor, someone to write down everything.
There is someone managing that.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So that's good news. It's obviously put some of the staff on edge, but at least it's something. There is more concerning news, however. So, based on what information I was able to squeeze out the Inquisitor,
That's an unusual way for that kind of relationship to go.
Look, trust me, it's very hard to get anything out of him without trying to ask the right questions, and he's luckily...
I just meant getting information out of an Inquisitor.
Look,
When it's the other way around.
the matter
Yeah.
of speech, shall we say. Anyway, there are approximately 60 Imperial Navy ships in near warp jump region of Keone.
That's good.
I am not 100% certain, but I feel like the Inquisitor has requested them to be near standby in case the worst happens.
So they're there in case of exterminatus.
I don't want to say that. Most likely what they will be doing is extracting the Titans off the Forge world as fast as possible should anything happen.
And then deploy exterminators.
Well, you know what they say, strategic value absolute.
Right.
But
This means we have to be
leave
good at
before
finding
the
it.
Titans do.
so all I'm going to say is and I feel like this is important, I don't think you're the only inquisitorial agents operating in the area at the moment. I think there is a potential that another Inquisitor has business on the planet. I don't have much details on it. I don't think he's going to the same Titan Forge as you. But should I hear anything happening on the planet, I will make sure to contact you to make sure you get off that planet as fast as possible. All right?
Thank you, Solomon. We appreciate it.
Look,
we will keep in radio contact about our location should it be necessary.
And of course, you didn't hear this from me.
Of course not.
Of course, sorry.
No, you were just calling us to ask about Sputnik.
Oh, is the dog doing well?
He's doing so well. He's such a good boy.
And she just starts scratching Sputnik.
He's such a good boy. Such a good boy. Such a good boy. Anyway, that's really all the news I have for you. So please do be careful, because I know some Inquisitors are paranoid, but there's a reason for it, and it's their experience. And as far as I know, Tech Heresy, Titans, potential demons, you know.
Not a great combination.
What I'm trying to say is please be safe.
We'll try not to get stepped on.
Very good. Anyway, unless there's anything you want to say to me, this has been Solomon Victoria of the Sanctum Dictum, signing off.
Stay safe, friend, and try to get out of orbit if that fleet does arrive. We don't necessarily want you getting caught up in this.
Of course. Emperor protects.
Likewise.
Praise the Messiah.
And the feed cuts.
Scarlet, I would like to roll Forbidden Law Inquisition if I know anything about the possibility of other inquisitionary forces.
Okay, make a roll. Make it at -10, please.
Alright, let's make that -10. I will subtract afterwards.
Oh god, I just realized we barely scratched the fucking heavy
don't
stoppers
think
ammo
it-
pool.
It's got a lot of bullets.
If that comes to... Oh, there we go. Nope, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
Well, we're off to a good start then.
Yeah, you couldn't. It's not information you would have been privy to. Anyway, you carrying on through the short night as after about 4 hours pass. The sorry, if you're gonna eat, could you put yourself on push to talk, please? You.
Thanks, man.
Okay. And after 4 hours pass, the night turns into day, and you're pretty exhausted at this point. It's been a lot of travel, and you probably would need to stop to make camp for a little bit. Or you could try and push on and see if you can start making up for time that's been lost.
What do you guys think? Camp for the evening or push on for the extra time?
I think my character would be tired after 4 hours of just looking at ice
And driving.
talking to himself.
Over ice.
I would
In
say
which case,
a good bit of rest would be what the doctor ordered. And I'm the doctor, so I make the orders.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You kind of pull off to the side. there's a bit of foliage kind of spewing onto. Forgot to mention, you're off the lake at this point.
Phew.
You pull off into some foliage under some covers of canopies of some fairly wilted trees at this point, but it's better cover than nothing.
Didn't think there'd be any trees on somewhere this cold.
Well, they're more like dead trees at this point.
Local evolution or something.
Tigers happen.
Yeah.
As in, it's a type of biome, not as in the animal.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Tigers.
Isn't that called taiga?
I don't know. I always get the word pronunciation wrong.
I'm under the belief that it's pronounced exactly the same for that exact reason, that there is a creature out there.
And you guys get some shut-eye. I'm
Oh,
assuming...
no, it is pronounced tiger. What the fuck?
Yes.
I'm assuming you guys go on to some kind of night watch where you're taking turns of watching.
Mm-hmm.
I will...
Yep.
Some roll. I've just pulled out my D10.
I would like to lend the bucket to anyone that needs to see at night due to the night glasses properties. And it is a fairly sized bucket, and my head, despite being small, is not quite small enough to not have a large bucket on its head.
Anyone that... So, Pierce offers to take the first watch.
Victor's
If no
probably-
one else is off, okay.
Victor's probably want to get one of the early ones done so he can rest well.
Okay, so you'll take the second
Probably.
watch.
Probably would be one in the middle.
Okay, so
In between
Osiron will take third watch.
3 to 4 a.m., yeah.
And Hayden has offered to take the final watch. Okay. We do some passive rolling. Cool. After a couple hours, White, you are quite gently kind of nudged awake, tapping the shoulders. It's like...
My shift?
Yep. Pretty uneventful. Few wild animals, but nothing coming close to the camp, so you should be fine.
Don't suppose you got a Leo stick spare?
He reaches into his pack and hands you one.
Thank you. And Victor just sort of like lights up and sits back. Get some rest. We'll get started in the morning.
Will do. Okay. White, could you make a perception roll for me, please?
Coming up right now!
Have you taken Z's bucket?
I'm probably... Was the visual parts attached to the bucket?
Yeah, it was.
Essentially.
Okay, in which case, yes, I'm wearing Z's bucket.
So you get your plus 20
You
modifier.
have become the bucket.
You
one.
get
I
plus
have
20
become a
modifier
plus
to your
20.
perception roll, with no negative for it being in the dark.
So, plus 20 because... Is that just because of the helmet?
Yeah.
So that would be plus 30 because I have heightened sense of sight.
Yeah, so then... Oh, yeah, so just plus 20 from the bucket, plus 30 overall.
I can see through time!
Oh! Holy shit, that's a good roll. Okay.
You see every... Holy shit, you just rolled
I
with
can
a
see
margin of 5.
Forever.
You look around the night and... Well, day, to be fair, and you get some very... It's hard to say. It might be a mix a bit of tiredness, but you keep... There's in the kind of slightly forested area you find yourselves in, you see a lot of jumping shadows in the trees. It's very difficult to perceive what they are fully because of the huge nature of the lights in your helmet. It's kind of hard to discern the colours very well. The shapes are a bit too far away. They're probably a good 100 meters at between 150 meters distance away from you. So it's very hard to make a solid read on what they are, but you definitely feel like you've been watched and you're, unless you do anything to respond to it, you feel like you've been watched on your entire watch, if that makes sense.
Do they approach or are they just watching?
They seem to get closer, but they don't get within 50 meters.
He'll probably have readied his shotgun and have it in his lap whilst he's watching. So he's probably like, if they get any closer than that, I am going to blast them. But at the same time, he's just like, it's probably just local wildlife confused and staring at us. At the same time, because he's smoking a Leo stick and he's wearing the helmet, I like the idea that their helmet's just filling up with smoke occasionally. He's starting to like shake it out to get like
Mm.
the smoke out.
You watch the shadows for about a good hour and a half, maybe 2. Make one more perception test with the same modifiers, please.
Coming up. Where's my
Actually,
perception?
sorry.
There it is.
Make it a flat perception because this one's based on hearing.
Cool. Well, I only just succeed.
It's very hard to discern, but you feel like you're hearing whispers. A bit too quiet to make it out fully, but you feel like you hear it.
Do I know anyone who is anyone in the group like sound improved? I forget if anyone's got better hearing.
Don't think so.
I think I do. Let me check. I thought it was either hearing or sight. Let me check. Heightened senses. God damn it, which ones?
Because you opted for the next thing, haven't you?
Your heightened
I-
senses to sight checks.
Sight.
I
Damn
got
it, yeah.
awareness
Sight.
plus. I got an awareness. I got a good awareness.
You
I'm
hear-
not sure who Victus would wake up. So, how many people are here currently?
Everyone's here. You, Victus, Siren, Paris, Z, with Hayden and Pierce.
Okay, so it's Z, or Siren, Kate. Fuck. I'm gonna roll a die basically to work out who the fuck 1d5 to see who the fuck Victus kicks awake. If it's 1 to 3, it's one of you 3, starting with Z, Siren, or Paris. If it's 4 or 5, you get to pick which of the 2 8. Probably not the assassin, since he'll probably kill me. So I'm gonna make that 1d4. And guess what? It's that guy. Poor sod.
So you're kicking...
He's just gone back to sleep. I'm just gonna nudge him awake and be like, "We got company."
Like he goes like, oh, is it morning already?
No, we've got company.
What
I
you...
figured you'd be least under, probably fastest to wake back up again. Sorry, I didn't mean to
It's
interrupt your
fine.
rest.
He gets up and goes, "What you? I can't see. It's too. There's a lot
Don't
going on.
make
right
it
now."
too obvious. I've woken you up for no other reason.
Mm.
He sort of leans forward and goes, "There are things moving in the distance about 50 meters away. There's also the sound of whispering. I think we're being watched by something a little bit more humanoid.
Any idea of what they're saying?"
Couldn't make it out."
He kind of kneels down and is kind of like trying to. He's got his eyes closed and he's trying really hard to focus on his ears, effectively trying to incentivize his ability to hear things. He goes, "I hear it too, but it's very hard to make out."
Should we wake the others and stay ready, or?
Have they gotten any closer than 50 meters in your watch?
Not that I've been able to see, but they've been watching me, so they might be trying to move around or waiting for a change of guard.
I feel like from now on we should have 2 people on guard at once, just in case. I'll
stay on for an extra shift when Osiron wakes up.
Okay.
I'll probably fill him in on what's going on and point him out from a distance.
You do that. I'll go. I'm a pretty light sleeper anyway, so I'll go back on with Hayden because we work well together.
Okay. You head back to rest. I'm gonna finish up this half and then wake up Osiron.
Will do. Okay. He goes back to sleep, and the night the rest, because it's not night, continues on. It's very unnerving, but they don't get any closer, and the whispering doesn't get louder. But now is the point where you'd wake up Osiron.
So Victus is kind of concerned about waking up Osiron, what parts he can feel. So he just kind of like shunts him. Like, hey. Oh, you didn't even open your eyes or anything. Not that you have any.
My apologies.
It's okay. Hey, it's time for your shift, but I'm gonna stay up for a bit longer. Can we talk for a bit? You know.
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
I'm having trouble resting. So when we obviously, I'm assuming we sit down back on like the watch post or whatever.
Yeah.
You probably just sat on the truck just to get a bit of elevation.
I'm just going to point out this is probably the first time you guys have probably had a discussion with each other ever since Parus pointed out to Osiron that Victus has a crush on him.
No, he doesn't have a crush on him. He's just like, well, just more my type.
Bless. Anyway,
Oh,
Alright.
all of the
Victus is a
ways.
military man. But yes, no, Victus. Is probably going to point out like the figures in the distance. You have heightened perception. Do you want to roll to see if you see them as well, or?
Yes, I think I will. Like, I
Siren will
see
be
the
able,
big gestures. Yeah,
a
the
Siren
Victus
will
is
be able to
making-
spot them because you're able to point them out to him.
Mhm.
Whether or not he can hear what they're saying. So, Siren, if you want to make a perception test for me based on
Uh-huh.
hearing,
flat perception. Yeah.
so no modifiers,
Mhm,
just
flat
that.
perception. Yeah, okay, coming up.
Ooh.
Oh, this is not bode well.
You
Can I?
You can't hear
Do you
the
wanna
whispers
fake that?
at all unless you want to
Yeah.
fake reroll.
I want to fade it. I'll fucking do it again. Okay, fuck no.
You hear
Still can't make
slightly
shit
more
out.
of nothing.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Great. Nice. Okay. Well. Shit. Okay. At least I've tried.
It's okay.
Could you both make perception tests based on sight now, please?
So it's
With the bucket bonuses for me.
The bucket bonuses, no, just regular.
Okay, so that would still be at plus 10 because of the heightened senses.
Mhm.
Woo!
Yep.
Roll, you fuck. I clicked roll.
It's gone
Yeah,
through now.
it's sort of
There
fucking
we
up a
go.
little bit for me as well. Let me just. Oh, okay. Okay, that's better.
You notice that the shadows the shadows that you can see. They're starting to maintain a bit further distance from you now. Probably about 60 meters is the closest they'll get.
Mm-hmm. Contacts moving away.
Disengaging or?
Apparently.
No, I'd say they're still jumping between the trees, but they're definitely getting a bit further away.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of your watch passes on as uneventful despite the unease you're feeling, and you've now reached a point where it'd be time to wake up Pierce and Hayden.
Time to go back to rest.
Yes.
Nudge them awake.
That was quite unnerving indeed.
Nothing new under the sun.
So
Sorry.
So you wake up Pierce and Hayden. Hayden, upon waking up, doesn't really say anything. He just immediately starts assembling his weapon.
I probably relate to Hayden like, keep your eyes extra open. We have company.
Distance.
60 meters.
So
Disengaging at this point.
he sights.
Previously 50. They moved away.
I think possible. He probably should sight for 70 then, just to be safe.
It's as if they recognized we were aware of them and started backing out.
Well, we don't have to shoot anyone that's ammo saved. Anyway, you get some rest. It's been a long day.
That it has. And Victor sort of curls up and goes to sleep. Sleep so many dream.
Do wake us up if the situation changes.
Of course.
Well, that's about it, pretty much.
You get your you go to sleep and you get your shut eye. Let's see.
Sleep so many dreams.
After you're not sure how long it is, all of you are suddenly very, very much awoken up by a loud shot.
Yeah, Parus, like, literally
just gonna
fucking
grab a
scoops
las
up, like,
gun.
what?
You get up.
Victor's has probably been sitting in one of the chairs with his shotgun on his lap, like asleep. Just like, immediately draws shotgun.
You look around and you immediately spot there is smoke coming from Hayden's rifle.
We in combat? Like, Victor just immediately dives to the bed of the truck and is like looking over it.
They've dispersed. However, I think I've hit one.
Was that a bright idea?
They dispersed because
Investigate.
They've dispersed because I've hit one. It's still walking as I think I've only got an arm shot. But given that we're in a snowy environment, if whatever it is it bleeds, we can at least follow that trail.
I got a faster idea. You still got a beat on him?
It's hard to say. It's even through my scope. It's not tangible in a way.
Victor's just climbing into the front seat of the van. Have you got a direction?
He He basically points the direction where his rifle is. That direction. It's probably 200 meters out.
I show accompany Victus on this, or are we all
Vehicle starts
doing this?
revving up. Let's go get ourselves acquainted with the locals.
Yeah,
Everyone getting
I would
in?
join Victus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was distracted by something.
Everyone
Get in the
hops.
party car. We're gonna
hops in
go
the
wake
car.
them up.
And you start moving. It's hard to go at any real speed because the trees make it hard to navigate. But it is just enough space to actually, to tangibly get through the obstacles. As you get further and further along, the blood trail starts seeping up a little bit. And after probably about 5 minutes of navigating the forest, you hear Hayden call from the top of the truck saying, like, stop.
We pull up.
I'm like getting all of my medical supplies out just in case.
I would probably prepare a las gun.
It's okay.
Y'all
it's
got las guns on him.
Yeah, he just goes. It's just in that clearing over there. Gets flat on the floor, but I still can't quite identify it.
My character will probably reclaim his bucket and start filming.
The bucket
Claims
reclaimer.
bucket.
Yeah, no, restored.
malicious
Here you go.
intent.
Here's your bucket back.
Thank
it was
you.
useful. Sorry, it smells like smoke now.
No
Don't
worries.
pick up smoking, kid. It's bad for your health.
I have read about that. It says something of some terrible reactions within the pilotic capacity.
You enter the slightly open clearing in the thing, and you see a kind of imprint in the snow, so you can't directly see what it is he shot. It's kind of covered on snow. You are about 15 meters away from it, but with the bit of the angle you're at and the height of the snow, because the snow is going up to about your knees, so it's a bit awkward to see what it is.
Is Parus able to use her optical mechadendrite to kind of like snake around and have a look?
Yep. It's not quite long enough to see directly, but you probably could like raise it up high to get like an above perspective view looking down.
Vantage point.
Yeah, that's the word. So make a roll for me using all your usual modifiers, no additional ones.
Okie doke.
Do the roll.
Okay. So it's a bit hard to make out because it seems to be somewhat camouflaged. It's humanoid in shape, and you can see the only thing that's kind of stuck out at this point in time is one of its arms. It's fair-skinned, but obviously it's the arm that Hayden has shot, so it's got a massive gashing wound going out of it, probably in the top half of its bicep. It's face down at the moment, so you can't see the face.
So Parus is going to relay that to the others.
Yeah, that means it's still. Well, pretty people. The looks of this.
I would like to have one of the techies use the auspex to scan for life forms. Other than that, it could be an ambush.
This can be
Remember
arranged,
correctly,
yeah.
I have your specs.
You have my auspex, and Sputnik has its own.
Yeah.
I thought that it was built into Sputnik.
It's just
there is another one built into Sputnik.
There is, yes. So we can use Sputnik's. If you're going to use Sputnik's auspex, we'll use his roller.
Okay, bear me for a moment.
It'd be perception. No, it's awareness. Sorry. So
awareness.
Yep.
Okay. Right. No modifiers, obviously.
Yeah. So it's flat 70.
Come on.
Come on, doggy. Make a roll.
Wow.
Sorry, I accidentally rolled
Both
twice.
are very good.
I'll just go with the first one because that's the first
go
one.
with the first one. Either way, it's very good.
Yeah, there are no other There are no sensors of motion on the auspex.
Right. There's no one else in the area.
Doesn't seem to be.
There's no one else in the area.
Who approaches, if any?
My character would like to jump out.
If you're jumping out, Victus is following you. Boy's not going to put himself in danger again, twice in the day of my watch.
You hear
I'll
on the
probably just do a double take at these two and just go, oh shit, and yeah, have to look over there as well.
Okay.
Today is a new day.
you hear on the
and we got range support.
you hear Hayden on the Vox feed. Make sure you don't block my line of sight. I can't get a clear shot if you're stood in front of me.
Spread out a bit more as well.
Disperse, yeah.
I would like to go with that and raise my revolver in case it is actually still dangerous.
Stay out of
Last
the
gun
blood.
primed and ready.
And I would like to take my mop with me.
I just assumed your mop would be on your back.
Okay, it is. I would just like to say it is there so I can poke it with it.
As you get closer,
Poke it with a stick.
As you-
Essentially.
as you've gotten closer to it, you
Yes.
can see it's humanoid in shape.
Yeah.
It's wearing what you assess to be either a very crude or a very damaged cameline cloak, where it's trying to fade into the snow, but it's doing a really poor job of it.
Shit, didn't we kill the agent of the
And
Inquisition?
instead of white, it's kind of going into it's going forth between full black and full white opaqueness.
Oh. So it's kind of pixelated.
I'm going to aim the shotgun at it. Someone nudge it, see if it's alive.
I would like to poke it with my stick, not the pointy end, but you know.
The mop
Blunt
end.
end.
The
I'm
non-mop end.
not removing the shotgun. For context, I am readying an aim action at this thing if it moves.
Okay. As you poke it with your stick, it does make a kind of disjointed groan, but it doesn't seem to have any kind of flat reaction out of it.
I say into our comm beats, target's alive. Should we bag it for interrogation or?
Yes.
Mhm.
This creature is definitely too well.
Yes.
Parus, get over here. We need medical care.
It probably is in a state of shock. It would need medical attention.
And you said I was not wise bringing out the medical kit first before the gun.
Well, if it was still alive and it was going to fight us, problem. But right now it seems to be incapacitated.
So who is approaching it fully then? Who's gonna?
I guess
So,
Victus is. Victus is still
Parus is-
pointing the shotgun at it to roll it
Okay,
over.
I would look over and basically be on Overwatch. Yeah.
Okay, so are you? Sorry, did you say you're going to try and roll it over? Did you say?
Yeah, I'm going to roll it over onto its front and point the shotgun at it.
As you start rolling it over, more of its arm becomes disjointed from its body.
You're going to need some biotics, my friend.
It's basically holding on by its tendons at this point.
You are going to need some mechanical parts at the end of this.
I mean, he just got
It's
stripped.
one powerful rifle.
It's a bolt rifle. It almost took it. It would have killed him if it hit him down
Yeah,
the square on. Anyway,
Fascinating.
as you roll it over, it's a very unusual face. It has. It's partially mechanical, but it's got very little expression. But you would probably the best way to describe it is it's some kind of servitor.
Not common law machine cult. Is there anything I would know about this thing?
I mean, you can make a roll for it.
I can speak to servitors.
If it will reply.
No, I can't.
You're not. This is not your area of expertise when it comes to the machine cult.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to try and chatter to this servitor in binary.
So what do you say to it?
Beep boop.
What is your operation?
It tries to respond, but when instead of responding in, it's basically instead of responding in binary, it just kind of mumbles, groans at you. It's very
Mumble binary.
It's very crude low gothic in response.
I presume we.
Crude low gothic. You mean maybe gutter speak?
It's probably gutter speak is very appropriate for it.
Guess what I got?
Okay.
I have peer on the world. I think I would have picked up fucking.
You would know. You would know some kind of like crude. It's basically it's the Aussie redneck of speaking patterns, effectively.
Oh god!
Wow, that's a great combo.
I'm fairly certain I have a natural
It's a
dialect.
power blend of an
And
Aussie
it
and a
ju-
redneck.
It just goes
Holy shit.
direct. Effectively, it translates to directive, motive, classified.
Great.
What?
What did it say?
It claims it's classified. How the hell can I speak to this and you guys can't?
Should we try to override the encryption or the blocks put in?
Yeah.
Based on the language it's using, Victor sort of like crouches down. He's not taking the shotgun off it, but he's like looking at it. I don't think this thing's completely mechanical in the way you guys are. I think these are just parts.
I mean, you could always
Mm.
inspect the body.
That's what we're gonna do if it doesn't fucking bleed out and die on us.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna stabilize it first of all.
Okay, so you try and stabilize the bleeding, but you realize the best thing you can do is effectively remove the arm and then basically tie up the gash as much as you can to stop the bleeding as much as you can.
Just the medical mechadendrite just comes around and you see it like kind of like switch through things, and then it just brings out like this automated bone stool, so that instantly starts going and then revs up.
I won't get you to roll for it because it's almost completely detached anyway.
Yeah, there's like fucking like 4 tendons or something holding it, so it's just like, well, that's the arm off.
And you
Would we be? I'm sorry.
and you wrap it up with some crude wrappings just to prevent it from bleeding out completely.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your question, Osiron?
What would be able to, well, based on the common lore machine code, to see whether these were like mainstreamed acolytes, those who are still like currently in the machine codes, or some kind of outcasts, maybe?
Well, you're gonna have to search it to find its body for any clues, aren't you?
Yep.
That's the
Oh
plan.
shit! Who has the best search stat? Because I got like.
I'm gonna say it's more of a tech roll because obviously that's mostly mechanical. So,
all right.
While Parus is doing her stabilization, you'll be probably rooting around in it.
Probably be rooting around. So that would be.
Victor's just keeping the shotgun on it, like.
Make a tech roll for me, please. If that's all right.
Flat roll.
Boy, can you stay on Overwatch?
I hold up my hand cannon and my pistol and just goes with hand cannon.
Yeah.
So
realizing I might actually blow everyone apart.
Okay, I do have plus 10 from tech use for the Lacrotus. There we go. Oh
god. So
well, here we go.
You start removing its crude clothing that it's wearing. And you start noticing that the majority of its torso downwards is mechanical augmentations.
Reserve parts.
It is very crude in nature, and more crude than Mechanicus normally do. It looks like it's one of these very slapdash kind of jobs that's been done in urgency.
Okay.
However, you do make some reasonable deductions. Obviously, your first deduction is that it is crudely made. Your second deduction is that
it's ad hoc. Yeah. Ad hoc construction.
Yeah. Your second realization is that it probably does have some kind of data banks inside of it of some kind.
Well.
Oh no.
Time to.
When you say it's crude, do you mean like made in a shitty underground, possibly renegade tech / heretic forge?
Most likely, yeah. So it's not Mechanicum sanctioned, not the proper procedure.
The kind of shit a scum would purchase.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just gonna pop.
It's quite interesting.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're relaying this information to the rest of us.
What kind of role would it be to access its data banks directly, overriding any
tech
security?
again.
Tech again, no problem. I'm fairly confident in this role. Horrible. Okay. How? Just
can you boost it?
How?
You can boost it with
I
a
would
fate
like to boost it with a fate point.
So you use your remaining fate
fate
point to boost it into 1 degree of success.
Fuck it, let's go.
Well, you could re-roll it. You have a really you have a really high chance of getting a high.
Well, not this fucking time, is it?
What would you prefer? Would you like to roll again or put
Okay, fuck it, let's roll again. Yeah, I think I would tempt fate and roll again.
Okay.
Come on, Fate, give him 100. Do it. Do it. Do it, Fate. Do it.
Why? Don't
Well,
tempt fate.
This delays.
Oh god!
What was that about statistically succeeding or something? What the fuck was that again?
Fucking 77 though! What the shit, die?
It's still
I don't
the
know.
same degree of success, regardless.
Yes, I don't fucking know. God.
Anyway,
Could have been worse.
Anyway, you
Yeah.
you are able to extract some information from the core of its
Mhm.
central processing storage unit.
Also, I want
And-
to take that camo cloak. Chameleon
Hmm?
cloak.
You start
Wait until you loot the body. Wait at least until it dies.
and you start seeing some unnerving imagery.
Oh, okay. How
It's-
so?
You kind of start getting. It's kind of hard to pinpoint a date on some of its memories that it has, but you can see it inside some kind of manufactorum.
Uh-huh.
After probably, it seems to be just like some kind of cleaning unit at most, and you start getting it starts transitioning into and then the kind of its memories start getting staticky. It's like, but it's not so much as
Corruption
like
sets
it
in.
hasn't been recorded. More, it has been intentionally deleted.
Mhm.
Because
Areas just cut out.
It's not. It's just this bit's completely missing where it's not damaged
It's
data.
deliberate. It's
Yeah.
deliberate, not like accidental.
You're able to
corruption.
assess that based on your experience,
Mhm.
and then for a brief stint of moment, there seems to be one of like probably like less than 2 frames of information. You do see Detran in its vision.
Target existence confirmed. Target location confirmed. Detran is currently on this planet.
After that, it's a lot of corrupted data, and then there's no visual input, but you do see new instructions have been implanted. However, it's gone. Its first line of is fairly comprehensive. Is scout surrounding area.
Okay.
Scout surrounding
Sorry, I
area.
pressed the wrong button.
Scout surrounding area. Destroy unknown entities. However, it seems like it's being, because of how crudely this was done. The command repeats itself, but it slowly degenerates each time it's been inputted, and it's gone from destroy unknown entities to just kill. It just repeats kill, kill, kill over and over, and it just starts cycling through on the near infinitum loop.
Sounds like someone didn't clean their RAM before such thing.
So these servitors seem to not to be unable to discern between friend and foe. Their programming went loopy.
As you kind of look through the rest of its equipment, you seem to notice that in the las rifle that it was carrying, it has no charges left in its weapon.
Aha. So do I need to use logic here to surmise what happened, or can I just make a basic?
If you want to make a statement, I can say whether or not I believe
So
you're right.
I think the Detran sent a bunch of servitors. They went loopy, shot each other until they couldn't shoot anymore, and then basically like idle around trying to find new targets to engage.
What's the effective range of a las pistol?
The las rifle is
About 120.
I would like to take
What's
it.
the range
Yeah.
that you are typically suggested to fight in with a las pistol? To just leans forwards.
half action range, effectively.
Yeah.
50 meters.
Mhm.
This thing was sitting at full range, probably attempting to fire an empty gun at us all night.
Correct.
Well, that is sad. Shall we put it out of its misery if there's no more to be done?
Take the cloak off it first. That looks like it'd be useful or valuable.
Excellent. I would also acquire this weaponry.
So just nick its shit before Victor deletes its skull with a shotgun blast.
The data chip because it would probably be valuable intel that we can later submit.
Don't integrate with it though, in case it's full of weird fucked up cult
Yeah.
shit.
And
yeah, I would not.
And I'll have to put
interface with
you
anyone.
down as well.
and don't
Everyone
put this
good?
into other people or animals you find, especially not flora or wildlife. And if you do, I would
Okay.
like to see.
You extract the data off the chip and you take the device out of it. You take its las rifle, you remove the cloak, and it has nothing left on its person.
Except
Except
Victor's-
its person. Let's salvage it for parts.
No, Victor puts the shotgun against its face. Cold shot head. Point blank.
It's literally touching his face, so you can't miss. So
Awesome.
roll your
Have you ever
damage.
played XCOM?
Time to delete head. And this is loaded with regular buck.
Oof.
Yeah, he did.
White, it once had a head. But
Victor
now...
says something along the lines of like mercy be unto your soul and that kind of thing.
Mm.
Kind of
Oh,
regular.
look, let's narrow a pattern in the snow.
Let's not make blood snow angels. Let's go.
She starts just like pointing at the different like shapes, being like,
That one looks like a rabbit.
This
I just turned this man's head into smoothie, and you're talking rabbit shaped blood.
This got very cursed very fast.
Dixon
Yes.
goes into comms and is just like, target dealt with appears to be some sort of scrap modified servitor that was being used for reconnaissance. What did you say was wrong with it, Osiron?
Programming went corrupted. Initial instructions got changed into indiscriminate killing.
You said you had an image of something.
We have a confirmed image of the target interacting with it.
Do we
what's
have
his
any
face?
time frame within this happened?
You do not.
Is there
Well,
any
is that he is-
metadata or like basically anything to find
It's
you?
not a fucking SIM card.
Who the fuck knows? Like what happens in the future? Maybe
Ah.
fucking does. Maybe this Detron idiot didn't clear his cookies or something.
I see you went to bustysororitas.com. I knew it.
Actually, fuck it. Let's check it. Can I use security to
Can you
ascertain?
check his internet
Make
code?
a security check for it.
Coming right up. Fuck!
You
Damn
can't
it. No.
break the encryption on its metadata.
Ah shit. Well, there he goes then. At least worth a try.
Anyway, so do you do anything?
Let's
Do you just
go.
leave the body there?
Yeah.
Okay. You get back in the truck. Hayden's already finished disassembling his equipment, and he looks at I'm assuming Z's the one that picked up the Cameline cloak.
Yes.
It's like he just looks and goes, "That thing's completely messed up."
I'm going to look through the hole that has been shut in it.
You go.
Not entirely.
He just sighs and goes, "Give it here, and I'll see if I can fix it."
It's probably worth more coin than anything to us.
I'm going to keep the last gun. Is there any way we can recharge the power pack?
Yeah, it's a power pack.
Exactly.
Power pack. If you have any
Hell, if I remember correctly, las pistols and las guns use the same power pack.
They do. It's universal ammo.
Ha power!
So
So if you've got a las pistol, you could just immediately restock on whatever the fuck he's got. But wasn't it also a las pistol the thing was carrying?
it was carrying just a las gun.
Right, in which case, then yeah, it's a las gun.
Yes, I have last gun now. I have also bought training last, but I didn't get a hell gun, so I will have to do with this.
We'll get you a
not
shot.
going to just casually give you a hell gun at this point in time.
My character asked.
Why not?
And I said no. Anyway,
We'll find you a shot, lads. Don't you worry.
You could assess the time, and you realise it was about the time you were due to wake up anyway. So
I would like to go back to sleep after completing this.
Get in the van, have a kip, we'll drive, and we'll take turns driving.
your day passes on uneventfully. After probably a good 2 hours of navigating the forest you ended up in, you get out and you find a rudimentary road that's mostly covered in snow, but you can roughly make it out based on that. Based on your current positioning and the time of day, you're about a day and a half worth of travel out from the actual site. make some rolls. Excuse me.
On a side note, I just linked the custom rules for the fucking shot las because funny. And I love the rule of illegal. If it's found on your person by an Arbite, you are charged 1d100 thrones and lose the weapon.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's some funny custom
That's
stuff.
illegal!
I need a sign of... I need a
Wait, that's
little
illegal!
insignia on it. Just a little one.
It's a little purity cell. I'm allowed. It says, "Go away, cops. I'm allowed to have this."
Essentially.
Worse every time.
Well, it is a purity cell. I can't really go against it.
When you start reaching your last hour of travel, Hayden finally pipes up after his long silence, and he just goes, "Oi, you with the bucket."
Yes.
He hands you over the cameline cloak, and it has been fully restored.
Oh.
God damn.
Ooh,
Good piece of kit.
It's like he
Stealth boy deploy.
just looks and goes, "I've used enough of these to know how to fix them."
Ah, this is excellent.
Uh,
I can now read in peace. I
God.
just throws it over as a cloak.
Stealth boy deploy.
All I have to do now is stand still, and people will not be able to see.
So you, in a way, in a very roundabout way.
sorry, there's 4 people spoke at once there, one at a time, please. I couldn't process any of that. What did Neve say? I heard her voice.
She asked Hayden though where he's keeping his sewing kit.
He just kind of just like pulls out like a small pack, and then it's just like, I feel like you've never been shot with something that's made of fabric before.
Well, no. How could you shoot someone with fabric? That seems impossible.
He takes his cameline cloak and covers himself with it.
Right, that's what he said.
She's just Parus is just looking between Victus and Hayden, like, oh, okay.
Pierce is laughing to himself.
As he would do.
An awkward silence passes. And after...
So, how long have you two been friends?
I'm assuming this is directed at Pierce, did you say?
Yeah.
It goes... Probably been working with each other for now for about 7 years, I want to say. Maybe 8. I can't quite remember fully.
Always with the Inquisition?
For the most part, yeah. Couple. I think I met him through the Inquisition. We got assigned together on work. He needed to. And basically, it turns out he needed to kill someone. I'm really good at breaking into places. I'm really good at getting targets lined up, and it's just one of those things that's where we've been working so long together for so long that we just kind of just gelled with each other, I guess.
And so, how long have you been working in the Luca then? Same amount of time?
4 years.
Who were you working with before that?
I am unfortunately not at liberty to divulge the information of my previous Inquisitor, unfortunately.
Forbidden law, knowledge... No.
She just kind of like gives us as much as she can of her lenses, gives a side-eye glance and just say like,
Did something bad, didn't
He just go, look, there's no one else. There's literally no one here. Our previous Inquisitor was executed under heresy charges.
So, what did do something bad?
Yes, I imagine heresy is probably the baddest thing you can do.
There are different levels of, like, what can be considered heresy, though.
There isn't, really.
The
Well,
solution
actually,
is the same
There's
for all.
head heresy, there's heresy, there's a lot of different heresies, okay?
Knowledge
There's some
heresy.
dark
How many
heresies,
times?
there's some light heresies.
Knowledge heresy. How many types of heresies are there?
I don't know. He's just...
I know all the types of heresies, and I would like to rams all of them up just to perish. Just
After about 2 minutes of this, Pierce just snaps and goes, "He was communing with demons to gain more power."
Auto Malleus execute this as traitorous, and I just start going in a random explanation.
I just look at you and goes, "You are to delete that entry because I did not say it."
I just click the camera, not on. Both of us would be shut if I said that.
He was executed. He was executed by Hayden. Hayden does not like communing very much with people that he doesn't know he can trust. That's why he's incredibly bitter to you guys.
I mean, at this point, I'm kind of used to people being bitter.
Look, I would prefer to not talk about this previous individual, as he's no longer part of our lives, and it's resulted in a time of a very dark time. So, could we please not talk about this?
Alright, my curiosity is sated.
Thank you. He just looking goes, "I think it's time to get some sleep."
Like Terrify's probably just woken up, so
So I'm assuming Z's going on first watch.
yes, and I would like to keep the bucket.
Is anyone going on watch with Z or?
We just need to get
Can I have a fronter?
A fronter and
I mean,
CR.
yeah, you can. Yeah.
Melvin and a fronter on watch.
Just
I mean, you
like,
can have a fronter as like a comfort
Simon,
net.
if
Sure.
your character gets memory wiped again, may I keep a fronter?
all I'm saying
Yes.
is that Affronter is not currently the Gloctopus. I just want to remind people about
Okay,
this.
can I just say then, you can have Sputnik as well on watch with him.
This is the best part.
Okay, so you do your first watch, and no events happen. Z,
All right.
who
Yes.
do you wake up to take charge of the watch?
I assume there was no what's it called?
We
Next in
didn't
line.
establish an order. Yeah.
No.
Paris hasn't done watch yet, so.
I think I will wake up Paris and
Sorry.
thumbs up and just.
She just kind of like takes off the bucket, ruffles his head, then puts the bucket back on.
I'll probably also have what's called the hoodie of the the void suit underneath to ensure my ears
Yeah.
hasn't frozen off.
She's still gonna ruffle your hair. You can't stop her.
Just want to say it.
Okay.
Melvin is not bald. Bald people in Imperium.
Oh yeah, that's
is the
what she just
majority.
said. She ruffles his hair.
Ah,
I just want to make this sure because there's too many bald people in Fort. Let's not say that.
Oofed.
I go to bed.
Okay.
So, anyone joining Paris on watch?
You have a fronter and
A fronter
Sure.
probably needs a sleep.
Yeah.
it's
Let
up
him
to
rest.
sleep.
Let him rest. Okay, I'll go with Paris.
Okay, it's the twins.
Yes.
Okay. Could you both make perception tests for me, please?
On
Based on
site?
what?
Based on sight.
So-
Yes.
How many people are making this?
Just the two of us for
Neve
now.
and Osiron is.
Cool.
Perception, was it?
Yes.
Okay. Fucking hell, what are these rolls today? God damn it.
Just because you're not getting Jesus
Roll
rolls
20,
like
it's
you
just
normally
bullying
do.
you.
Wait,
It
what's
really
your...
fucking is.
1 second. Perception.
Well, 20.
Oh, that is including your modifier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only used plus 10 from side based.
Can I use a fate point?
You may if you wish.
Okay,
You,
that's a bit more permissible.
it's a bit easier to spot this time because you're in a more open area. You do see a shadow like you had seen before.
So she nudges a siren and points it out.
Now that you've pointed out, it's a bit easier to spot him.
It's a giant croc.
Is that a
sorry.
confirmed visual? On the same servitors?
You can't tell from the distance. It's probably about this one's about 150 meters away, so it's very small.
Is it
Right,
good?
Parus is going to get up and try and nudge Hayden.
Okay, you tactically go to Hayden, and he wakes up. It's like, what? Is it my watch?
No, we seem to see something out there. Just wanted to check to see if you're able to get a better visual on it. It's about 120 meters out.
150.
150, sorry.
He quickly
This
assembles.
guy's not gotten a fucking night's sleep.
He quickly assembles his rifle and uses it and uses the rest on the car to get a better sight on it.
You could probably just take the scope off and like look at it as a...
Yes,
like...
but if you take the scope off, you have to resight it.
Ah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh,
yeah.
And he goes, appears to be another one of those servitors. It's pointing its lasgun at us, but I'm assuming, given the fact that it's not shooting, this one's also out of ammo.
Or sods.
Requested
Shall we
He just looks
try
at
to...
requested course of action.
Shall we try to engage it in hand-to-hand and try to, capture one of the servitors?
It's currently not in range for the gun to actually work, though. You might be aware of that.
He just looks and goes, well, it's in my range.
Put the sad thing out of its misery, then.
One shot, one kill. He loads.
Okay, Widowmaker.
He loads the bolt, and a loud bang. As obviously this is the first time you've probably heard this rifle fire whilst fully awake, and it's impossibly loud. Everyone else is woken up immediately by it going off.
God.
And
Fuck.
You're watching, and this time, because of the much clearer sight picture, immediately takes the thing's head off.
Get back aboard the ship. I am going to buy you a suppressor. Don't care if we ever don't work again. You need one.
Pierce just starts laughing. I don't think you can suppress a weapon like that, all things considered.
You can try.
Oh dear. Anyway, so it's like Pierce goes, I'm assuming another servitor?
Yes, exactly.
I would like to put the bucket back on my head and run out after it.
She's just gonna grab you before you do and just pull you back, like by the scruff of your hood.
What?
Stop running out into danger.
It's dead, isn't it?
Yes, but we don't know if there's anything else out there.
With empty guns.
Still, they can still probably beat your head in or something.
Also, some of them might not have empty guns.
Exactly.
Well, I've seen what a Lasstock can do to...
I just take my camera and cloak and then stand incredibly still then.
Alvin, you're a lot younger compared to us. For that reason, I kind of have a bit of a maternal obligation to make sure that you're in one piece.
You hear Pierce laughing behind you.
Let's just keep moving. Being stuck here is doing us more harm than good.
So do you guys go to check the body, or...?
I would like to...
Where were the data banks situated on the servitor? Like cranial implants in the previous one?
These ones were kind of located in its chest.
Aha. So there might be some prudence to check out the data vault. I mean, yeah.
We should probably attempt to extract it.
Okay. Are you all going there? Are you moving the car with you, or are you just walking up towards it?
Victus will bring the car up, I guess.
Okay. You're walking some kind of formation.
Also, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hayden is on the back of the car still with his sight trained on it just in case. But it is, once you start getting closer, you can tell this thing's been pretty mangled, because not only is its head completely missing, the explosion from the bolt itself has taken a good chunk out of the torso.
Ah, shit. Okay, can we see if there's anything salvageable in it.
Make a
Would it be tech use.
Make a tech use test. I'm going to say -10 modifier due to the damaged nature of the
Okay, fair point.
of the
fair
individual. And you just absolutely fucking nail it.
Point. Finally, some good fucking luck.
Can I reclaim the cape too?
This cape was like caught fire from the explosion. It is completely gone.
Cape hoarder.
What about the last gun?
Damaged. Probably
The ammo
salvageable.
pack.
Definitely damaged.
Dang it.
It just
We
got
have 2 techies. That could probably
Fucking
help.
kleptomaniac little.
just got shot by a high.
He's stealing shit from servitors. If it's not mops, it's their guns and their capes.
Yes! He's a repeat offender.
It just got.
In 200 years, Melvin will sit aboard his own little inquisitorial ship and go like, I remember the time when I started looting artifacts from my enemies and pull up the Chaos Sword. Maybe I shouldn't have done
Dear
that.
Lord.
No, it's just so
Maybe
far.
we shouldn't have done terrible things.
So far, it's just been servitors you've stolen stuff from. It's like whenever there's a dead servitor, you have
The
like this
mop.
undying, yeah,
He's
exactly,
so
this
good.
undying need to take stuff from it.
Scarlet,
You
can I
ha-
put a thing on the wish list with the heavy gun servitors? Can we have one of those?
And just imagine now you've
So
got a
you can
new.
loot shit off of it.
You've got a new trait, hatred servitors.
It
Goddamn
denied me my ration-
servitors.
It denied me my ration packs when I was merely 10 years old. I had to fight it.
Every single servitor you've come across, you've absolutely
me-
bullied.
It wouldn't give me my food, so therefore I will take everything from them.
I mean, they are not human anymore. It doesn't make it matter.
Okay.
Like,
Anyways.
Well,
So,
Hello, Gordon.
Siren, you
yes.
as you start taking apart, it's already mostly broken anyway.
Yep.
You notice it's very similar-ish construction, although there's inconsistencies between the first one and the second one. It's like this one's a little bit more refined than the first. However,
Okay.
it is a bit better crafted. It seems like you can't quite.
Maybe put in more effort into this one.
Either this one was put more effort into. You don't know if it's because don't forget when you last left him, he was in a pretty messed up state. So
Yeah, no doubt.
so it's hard to deduce whether this is an older one or a newer one based on the information you have. You do get a very similar readout from its internals. However, you get its previous assignment, which this one seems to be carrying cargo. And then it just goes into a murderous directive. However, by some sheer luck of a miracle, that Hayden's rifle didn't just completely obliterate this thing, and rolling higher on this roll, you get a bit more information from one of these chips. Inside of it has more images in it, assigned to the kill commands. And the first image you see is an image of yourself.
Oh.
Okay.
Followed by an image of Parus as well.
Okay.
And there appears to be no other images of things, but they are listed after the commands of assassinate.
Oh.
However,
Someone doesn't like you coming for him.
Apparently, he has a vendetta against us specifically.
It would appear so, after all. My master was his apprentice. Good thing I decided to give us new masks and change our voices.
Also, I
Yes.
should actually specify that one of the things that Paris did commission for Osiron to wear was a new mask, and it kind of looks like an
Yeah.
octopus.
Oh god damn it!
Oh,
This
no,
is great.
He's become Meta Cthulhu.
He is basically Metal Cthulhu.
Nice. Nice.
Sorry, I
So it's
forgot to
basically
tell
like
you
my
that.
avatar in Row 20.
Yeah, but like
Nice.
with like more tentacles and stuff.
Cool.
However, as you dig further into its memory banks, as you've somehow manage to assess this thing without Hayden completely obliterating it.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to get a video of its adaptation, shall we say?
Oh, the okay, got it.
You see Detran kind of lurking over it, grunting and groaning as he's working. He seems to be in some kind of physical pain. He hears agony.
I don't want to know what he's doing to that servitor. Just
he's kind of like he's basically as he's trying to. The servitor occasionally looks down to see him basically rewiring most of his innards.
So it's basically like that scene from Quake 4.
Pretty much, yeah.
Got it.
You do hear.
I routinely have nightmares of that.
You do hear snippets of conversation. It's like, you can't. Based on the servitor's tangential kind of like idle, like absent-minded looking left and right, there doesn't appear to be anyone else in the room, but you just managed to spy what appears to be some kind of autoquill next to Detran. And you basically hear him mumbling, preliminary test successful. However, larger scale application requires more psychic ability. Loss of Inquisitorial Agent, tragic, but not necessary. I will find what they have hidden here. And you better kill those people coming after me.
So he knows we're coming.
Specifically me and you.
Yep. Specifically us too, indeed. This is concerning. So he may not be aware of the essence of Inquisitorium at large, necessarily.
It's like,
Specifically know of us.
however, it's like
Past me.
He does
it's a
know
little
of
bit.
us.
There's a little bit more. It's like
Mhm.
I will not stand for the delays that the Mechanicus inflict on me anymore. Anyone who follows their dogma should die. And it's basically this. It goes going to this tangent rambling of his disgust of the Mechanicum and the things that's prevented him from doing what he wants. Doesn't really say enough to make any coherent of what it is he's doing. He's just incredibly bitter. He looks, and once he's done, he looks and goes, "Need to make sure everything from this thing's wiped before I." And then a large siren cuts him off, and goes. What he looks at the he looks onto a terminal. It's like, it appears something's exited warp space. He basically then just crudely seals the thing shut and then just pushes it off the desk and goes, "Do your job." And then you just start seeing it wobbling outwards. At this point, though, the live feed is completely just distorted and cuts out, and there's basically no recording of visual data after that point.
Got it. Any metadata data on this one?
Make a security test. This is at -30.
Ooh,
He's a tough boy.
Holy shit.
Secure boy.
All right,
Come on, God roll.
God damn it.
Come on, God roll.
Let me just see if I have any like bonuses to that at all. Like to negate
If you don't
that.
have
Nope, I don't think
the
I do.
Omni tool, there isn't really any bonuses naturally to security.
Yep. Yep, you're right. All right, here it fucking goes, nothing.
Come on.
Yeah, well, that was a predictable failure.
But not by far, though. Only 2.5.
No, by quite a fucking
There's
lot.
a few degrees.
Let's
so...
be honest, yeah.
Yeah, but 2.5 isn't as bad as like the by 5 degrees we've had before.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, you assess that it's not the exact same location the data is stored for its metadata, and that has been damaged beyond recognition from Hayden's shot.
Cheeky fucker.
Okay, I'll get you next time, Detran. I know you'll forget to fucking log out of your browser session one day.
So, can I just make a quick question to you two? This Detran fellow.
I'm assuming
I'm directing.
Sorry, just to clarify, who's these two? Sorry.
Us, mechanical
Corsair and
types.
Okay.
Corsair and Osiron. I'm assuming you guys have some unfinished business with Detran. If he's sending out kill drones to deal with you.
Not specifically Detran himself, but
Right.
it turns out that my previous mentor, Carolus,
I think you mentioned.
yes, he worked under him. And
Well, my second question then would be, if an opportunity comes up to put this guy in the dirt, would you be against me taking it?
well, no, I wouldn't be against it at all, though, to be quite
Right.
honest, the Inquisitor has suggested that we should try at least to bring him back alive. Maybe like a head or something.
We'll try. You know. I'd rather shoot first and not die than shoot
To be
late
honest, I
and
think
get
it'd be
killed.
quite funny to just like remove his head and he'd just be, trying to shit talk us.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
transferring
God of
himself
War.
into the control of ships. That would be the worst. Either way, I'm good.
Hayden just kind of pipes with a. As soon as I'm awake, I might as well finish off the watch.
You sure?
It's fine. As a Vindicate, I have enough experience to go many nights without sleeping, all things considered.
I'll keep an eye out for some recap if you need.
You just.
I was going to say, if you need anything stronger than recaf, I have plenty interesting chemicals in this sack here.
Yeah, so if you don't want to try any weird chemicals, keep it out of recap.
I'll get some recap for when we start moving. Anyway.
You're not drugging our sniper man. I'm going to give him a good old-fashioned coffee.
I'm not drugging him.
I'm going to give him a good old-fashioned coffee and he'll be fine.
Inquisition-approved chemicals.
My giant seal orb is staring at me disappointingly. What do you want? What do you want, you git?
The rest of the watch passes uneventfully as you all get to sleep quite nicely without any loud explosions coming from a sniper rifle.
We're getting ear-ringing up.
The final expected watch happens, and you are then woken up on a more or less 8-hour sleep schedule immediately on time by Hayden.
Great.
It's time to move.
Upwards and onwards, kids. Getting back in the van.
Who's driving?
Whoop. Victor's probably would.
Okay. So...
Or Fronter. Or both.
Yeah.
Victor's at a fronter.
Affronter waddles forward and is like, showing excitement that he wants to drive.
Yeah, I'll let him drive for a bit. Keep an eye on him.
And it kind of waddles its way into the front seat.
I guess I'll go shotgun then. Literally shotgun with a shotgun.
A front seat. Oh God.
A front seater.
I'm going to delete your existence in the next 25 seconds.
There's a front seater and literally shotgun
as fast as I can then.
You make your way through the day, and after probably a good half day's worth of travel, it's actually more of a quarter day, sorry. You start seeing the Titan Forge coming into view, and it is insanely huge. It is probably, based on the distance and perspective, you're probably guessing that the highest spire of one of the buildings is at least good to 100-something meters high in the air. It's not particularly like large surface area. It's not like a huge sprawling city, but there's a few very large spires that kind of populate it, and a large perimeter fence you can free from. Well, more fence. It's more of a fortress wall circling around it. Okay, as you get.
Yeah, it just looks like a fence from this.
Yeah, it looks like a fence from this perspective, but
yeah.
Like, if you have any kind of vision boosting kind of things, you can see these are huge, like, steel walls. As you get closer, the immensity of the size starts kind of barreling over you. It starts looking like I don't know if any of your characters get afraid of heights, perchance.
Nope.
Nope.
No one's afraid of heights. Good, so you're not getting that kind of sickliness.
Nope.
However,
Nope.
you see the front gate, and calling it a gate's not fair. It is insanely huge. It would be probably big enough to at least let a Titan walk right through it.
Of course.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. I mean, this is a Titan Forge and all that.
Yeah.
As you
I wouldn't want them just stockpiling like on a warehouse.
As you start approaching, you start getting quite close. You can see unassisted the Skitarii surrounding the facility in their blue and white robes with blue trims. And as soon as you're spotted, the weapons start being pulled on you. They don't seem to be like in a position where they're like aiming to kill, but they are basically watching the movements of the vehicle as it gets closer.
I'm going to suggest that we pull over and identify ourselves.
I would like to prepare the papers. I've prepared for this particular event.
Hayden,
Papers, please.
Victor's like rejiggers himself in silent.
Hayden has enabled his Caroline. How does Hayden mean okay Google? Okay, Hayden has activated his Cameline cloak and he is stealthed up.
Cool.
Like, as you exit the vehicle, you're probably about 50 meters away from the initial checkpoint, and you hear basically a vox screamer. That's the word. It's like identify themselves. Use Vox channel, and he regurgitates a very long binary code for the channel. It's and they stop speaking. It is something you guys are able to the two tech adepts here immediately know what they said, and they're able to tune into it.
Parus is gonna
frequency.
Okay. You hear as soon as you enter the channel, they detect it. And they speak for you through the communique. Identify yourself.
1 second.
I am Titania Kalpana with my associate Pontius Grus and our...
What was he called again? Sorry. Apprentice, that was it.
And our apprentice, Kelisarius Brawl.
Drool.
I said brawl.
We're here.
Sorry. I'm trying to remember what to say.
We are here on the orders of our Comagos Tyriel Saturn to undergo initiation into becoming tech adepts for the Forge.
And then she's going to upload the information that Boyd provided previously.
After probably a good minute delay, there is a response. Identities of 3 individuals confirmed as the initiates from Vos Prime. Now, please identify the 2 remaining individuals in your party.
Victor's just sticking with the whole silent
Like,
stance thing, so I'm assuming things can do it for him.
Pierce pops in and goes, Pierce, I am here to conclude my job. And they don't even delay responding. Apologies, bounty hunter. Please enter the facility.
I fucking fell out of my chair.
Oof.
Jesus.
Careful, mate.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. I just sort of died.
They lower their weapons, and basically the gate has a much smaller personnel gate inside of it. So basically, there's the big doors and there's the small doors at the bottom, and you can see them opening from this distance. They're still pretty large. You could probably fit various kinds of automata through it if he was to really try. So
In a car?
Would be useful for later when we try to fit various kinds of automata through it.
Yes, to get out with
Do you
them.
get back into the car to move forward, or do you just walk the distance?
Stay in the car. Beep beep, motherfucker.
I guess we're staying in the car.
You drive forwards, and the Skitari surrounding it. Basically, as you get to the door, a Skitari stands in front of the way and holds up a hand.
What is it?
We must inspect your vehicle before it enters the Titan Forge.
I just look at the rest of the body and go,
What should we do?
Parus is going to step out.
Let them
Victor
do their
shrugs.
jobs.
Okay. He responds, "Do you have anything you wish to identify before we begin our search?"
Identified the
There is a heavy scudder in there.
Unusual armaments for such a vehicle.
Vic just like points at himself and like taps his chest as if it's his.
Personality has been assessed. This one may be of concern whilst in the forge. It appears that your previous associate was more eloquent than this one.
oof.
Pierce just is trying really hard to not burst out into laughter right now.
Vic just shrugs.
He just roasted you, Victus.
Yeah. I'm used to the mechanics people roasting me.
As they begin, even though the gates open, let's see.
Yes.
Melvin, sorry. Probably Victus as well, probably based on where they You feel a faint, like, chill just go past
We are
you.
in on an active world.
No,
What kind of
as in,
food
like,
is this?
something a bit more, like, localized. It's like a very brief dispersion of the wind goes past you.
Is there knowledge that would be appropriate to roll for this one? Occult, maybe.
No, it's more of a... Let's see what you got.
Knowledge, strange chills.
I'm going to say common law tech.
Let's do this.
I don't have common law tech, so I'll just assume it's cold here.
0.3 degrees of success.
You assess that based on there being a particular person missing, you assume that it is Hayden has already made his move on getting inside.
Eh.
They
Where
inspect.
did that cardboard box go?
They inspect the vehicle and they go, "Nothing of concern has been located inside the vehicle. Please,
May we proceed?
please continue, as the Archmagos is waiting your arrival."
And I guess we get back in.
Yep.
Get in, and you start making your way inside the Titan Forge. It's a pretty sprawling area. There's a lot of landing pads for for Mechanicus-based craft. Some quite large, which probably handle more of the more crude Imperium standard classes. But most of this appears to be mostly inside these inner walls. Is basically a cargo movement facility, and inside is a massive entranceway into this internal facility, and this is one of the largest spires as you are directed into it. And as you kind of enter, you pull to the stop as the lights engage, and you suddenly feel a shake as you start moving downwards.
Another escalator.
You hear on
Since this elevator can go downward, isn't that a descenter?
sorry, what was that?
Sorry, just my character just mumbling.
Okay, sorry.
Also, meme dump, in case you are interested.
What have you done?
That's cursed.
I love this picture, Z.
I feel like I have to show this now. So this is what they've done.
Let's drive.
What have I enabled? What kind of shenanigans have I enabled at the party?
You've done terrible things, my friend.
I have indeed.
I mean, I
Forgive me,
could have done
Father,
it with
for I
Sputnik,
have
but that would have been
sinned.
too obvious.
You hear on the on one of you don't really hear because only Pierce seems to be like mumbling in his ear. And then he goes on to your guys' regular channel. Goes, Hayden contacted me on our private channel. He is inside this elevator right now, and he's basically going to be watching over us as much as he can. I've been in here before. I'm not certain he'll be able to get into the room where the Archmagos normally is, but I'm at least hopeful that he'll be able to stand guard at least, should the worst happen. So be sure that Imperial is normally seems to be a good guy, but in case things happen, make sure you're ready to prepare your weapons, because we don't know how far this heresy stems.
How far the
Victor
corruption
just
has
double checks all his gear.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. After probably about 10 minutes of movement, it's a fairly slow-looking lift, so you can see like the rough rock around you. Although it does get a bit warmer down here. And you finally reach the bottom. And as the large gates open up, you see quite an impressive-looking manufactorum. There is... Excuse me.
I think this is the first time my character actually sees a corona outside of a big pig.
Oh, God.
A pig? Vid recorder.
Based on initial assessments, you see that a lot of the manufactorum is processing munitions for Titan-based weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And almost directly in front of you, at least it's quite far back, but you can still see it. You see the Warlord class, one of the planet's Warlord class battle titans. It is not currently fully armed, as one of its arms has been detached. It looks like they are, and you see several members of the Cult Mechanicus. The rites and rituals to bless the weaponry before it's being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Victus would like to watch that, mostly to try and ascertain if there's...
Sorry, can you say that again,
Beyond.
please? You cut out a little
Sorry,
bit there.
microphone's a mile away. Victus would like to watch that
Mm-hmm.
to see if there's any sort of maintenance processes being displayed beyond just the regular prayer.
From the distance you're at, it's kind of hard to say. There's probably a good 10 to 15 people surrounding it. I'd say with
Right.
your experience with the Mechanicum, you're able to recognize it as a Bellicosa pattern volcano cannon.
Whoa. How the fuck would Victus recognize that?
Acadia.
Katie,
Everyone knows art.
Okie dokie. That's one
Everyone knows
big ass
art.
full.
obviously the tech adepts immediately know what it is.
That
Probably
is a
Melvin has
volcano
no
cannon.
idea what that is, all things considered.
My character does not actually understand it, but he has images of it now, meaning he will find out later.
Oh god.
Hey Melvin, you ever seen a melter gun before?
I am not familiar with it, no.
Do you know what a melter gun is?
Do I know what a melter gun is?
I'd say
Comment below,
something.
Imperium.
I'd say it's something you know. You don't need to roll
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
Well, I just realized the volcano cannon isn't a melter gun; it's a laser weapon. I'm a fucking idiot.
You want to try
This is
again?
like a las cannon marked IV.
It's like a
It's
las
bigger.
cannon, but swole.
Fuck's sake. 'Cause it's not. There's another one that is the fucking. God damn it.
There
It's
is
a chunky boy.
there is a melter pattern warlord weapon.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm trying to remember the name of. It's very similar, and it's just like fuck's sake. Why?
Also,
Volcano
cause
cannons, link cannons. Plasma Annihilator.
doesn't beat a Gauss annihilator.
It's just called a battle titan melter cannon.
Why would you
Yeah.
want to annihilate plasma? That's kind of counterproductive.
Reaver class melter cannon. Delete person with microwaves.
Okay. As you're kind of gawking at it, or appears to be a member of the Mechanicus kind of interrupts your gawking. He's like, the Archmagos is awaiting your arrival. Please do not keep him waiting.
Parus kind of nods and follows after. These
We shall proceed with all due haste.
They lead the way as you're able to eye up a lot of the manufactorum.
Why the mechanism you got here?
You can see.
I'm just gonna say, because it's a lot warmer down here, like Paris is gonna like remove her outer cloak.
It's getting hot in here.
So take off all your clothes.
No.
I'm not taking off the bucket.
Cursed. Very cursed.
But no, she takes off her outer cloak.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because you obviously all of you are wearing padded clothes at the moment. So if you don't remove at least the padding, you're going to be quite hot in here.
Yeah. So she is now in the outfit that I have sketched out and shown you before, Scarlet.
Yes.
Sure.
Anyway, you carry on walking. You get to see this impressive manufactorum. There are many different Titan weapons, kind of like in storage storage. They are being worked on actively. As you walk around, you are able to see more of the Titan's actual in the storage. You probably spot three or four actual Warhound class Titans that you were told about in the time, and you do spot a couple princeps walking around the area.
Yeah.
They all seem to be quite occupied. It's a fairly cramped conditions you find yourselves in, so you find yourself bumping into Mechanicus members as you're walking through. However, you are led to a fairly large and impressive ornate-looking door, and it opens up, and inside, basically, it seems to be like kind of almost like an airlock kind of procedure, where there's an open room in there, and there's another sealed door beyond that. As you kind of start walking through, Pierce kind of like grabs at the back of Victus's coat, to kind of indicating for you to stop it before you enter the doors.
Victus holds tight, crosses his arms again.
He looks towards the Secretary and goes, "I understand that sorry, let me try again. I understand that you have these three have been requested because they are to be initiated. However, do I, as the outside influence, have permission to see the Archmagos?" The Skitari kind of beep in binary towards each other. Osiron and Parus are able to pick out, basically, are trying to pick up like order communiques between each other, asking questions for requisition and authority. And after a brief delay, he goes, "The Archmagos will see you now." Pierce just kind of pats you on the back to kind of push you forwards a little bit.
Let's go.
Okay. The Skitari that led you in leave the room on the way they came in, and then the door seals behind you. And then, after probably about a minute's delay, the second door opens up, and it's impressive the sight you're about to see, as there's a very, very large Mechanicus member there, as looks like he's being interfaced mostly into the facility itself.
Ooh. Impressive.
He's probably around 15 meters high at his highest point, on top of all the Mechanicum. He's probably got about 50 at least mechadendrites, and he's interfacing.
He has that Dark Souls boss aesthetic.
Yeah, pretty much. As he's interfacing with pretty much, if you can see the terminal, he's interfacing with it in some way. Security cameras, research, information, all of it in pretty astute high Gothic for the most part, based on what you can identify, and then mixed in with the tech adepts in the party are able to enact as basically technical details and machinery stuff has been written in binary. Okay. He kind of faces around, and you see his relatively small head compared to the body size he has, and his voice just begins to echo in the room. I see the acolytes from the Inquisition have arrived.
That is
Thank you
good.
for receiving us, Archmagos.
It is good that you have reached us in this time. I apologize for the crudeness of the way you have been introduced and welcomed here. Unfortunately, telling members of the Mechanicus that members of the Inquisition are to walk our ranks is not exactly a tone I would like set on this Titan Forge.
Understandable.
Anyway, how was your journey here?
It was relatively uneventful, apart from a few instances where we encountered some corrupted servitors and one of those giant
I'm holding up the
creatures.
tools.
Fauna, yes.
The fauna is not of concern, as it is merely native to the planet. The servitors, however, are, as I have had some of my members of the Mechanicus find these unusual modified servitors recently around the area.
Brother, would you be able to give your report on what you witnessed when you decoded one of the servitors' memory banks?
Yes, that was what I was trying to do.
We have encountered and collected data from several of them. Perhaps you would be capable of discerning more information than we have.
What information were you able to extract from the servitors?
Confirmed visual of primary heretic Detran. Confirmed location, although this would be more known to a local here.
And what else do we get? We've seen him. And one potential attack on Detran's forces.
Yeah. Don't forget also that he's specifically targeting me.
Yes.
Oh, and Detran has a vendetta against us too, specifically.
He responds and goes, I see. Well, I may be able to fill in some of the blanks you have been receiving. So, one thing to state is that he does not have a vendetta against you per se. He has a hatred to any member of the cult Mechanicus that hasn't fallen to the Dark Mechanicus. He believes that progress under our doctrines has been, in his words, hampered, and he believes that technology is not sacred and is for his ilk to experiment on freely. He despises anyone who follows the doctrine of the Adeptus Mechanicus. So I don't believe it is a cult per se, a cult hatred against you, just anything that's represented by the Mechanicus. As for where he is, it is hard to say. Despite being so well interfaced into the Forge World systems, the majority of the Titan Forge sprawls under the surface of the planet for miles and miles. Even I, with my vast knowledge of the planet, could not identify every location I have seen him inside the visual data extracted from the servitors.
Mm-hmm.
So
basically what he's saying, it's far too big, and he can't keep track of all of it.
Indeed. So do you say that out loud, or that's just what you're confirming?
No, that's just confirming, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
He goes,
I don't want to shit talk the guy, like he's been pretty chill so far.
He goes, I do, however, have some locations that I would recommend you begin your search. Normally, these locations are ignored by the higher ranking adepts. However, they tend to facilitate the newer ones. the adepts are busy these days maintaining the weapons. However, it would appear that the... Excuse me, sorry, it's really hard to maintain this voice.
No problem. You're doing great.
It would appear that a lot of our servitors have gone missing, even though the percentage number overall is not high. I count at least 200 servitors have gone missing since in the last 3 stellar weeks.
The tendency is concerning.
I also seem to have found that some of my low to medium ranking members of the Mechanicus appear to be more solemn than they used to. I am concerned that Detran may be trying to convert some of my associates into his will. Do you have any ideas or possibilities, any evidence for this in your travels here by chance?
We have
So far, we
records.
haven't encountered anyone who's raised suspicions. It was mainly the servitors who we encountered.
Understandable. Kind of goes silent for about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. And before he eventually kind of picks back up. I have registered you more into the Mechanicus database. A servitor kind of starts waddling towards you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to hand over like a data slate.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
This data slate contains numerous amounts of access codes, so you can gain entrance to some of the more robust facilities of the Forge world. If you would like some advice on where to start, based on the pick feeds from the servitors we were able to extract, the most likely location based on surrounding influence would be the lower manufactorum areas, i.e. the ore and metal processing areas. I would have to warn you that the area is quite treacherous to non-Mechanicus members. Please do mind your step while you're inside that area of the facility. I have also updated on those data slates the fastest location on where you can go to reach them.
We are most thankful for your involvement in this, Archmagus.
May I request information before I let you carry on with your work?
Proceed.
What is your Inquisitor's intention to do with the heretic once found?
We plan to try and bring him back alive, though not necessarily with his parts intact.
I see. Due to the nature of this relationship we have with your Inquisition, we would like to request that any data involving the manufactorum of this facility be assessed by myself or another high-ranking official before taking off the facility, please.
Oh no, that's me.
For a side note, I don't know how long my microphone's been dead.
You haven't spoken in like 10 minutes.
Fuck.
Oh god, I thought you were just being silent.
No. Victor's has been mostly silent. He has said 2 things. One was he pointed out that this guy was involved in a larger conspiracy that our Inquisitor was after. But once the information is extracted, it's likely going to be execution for heresy. The other thing was going to be a request, but I'll pitch in a second.
Okay. Understandable. I already finished my sentence. It's like, I would request the information be assessed by us before it leaves the facility.
Of course, we understand and completely respect that this is something of an issue within your own jurisdiction, and it would be only wise to gain a greater knowledge of what is currently occurring.
Don't forget to teleportation.
My request, a request, if I may.
You may speak.
There is a possibility, as you stated, that a large number. Fuck, my mic keeps going out. Fuck. There's a possibility, as you stated, that a large number of individuals here may be turned to this fallen one's ideology. I'm assuming we have then a clear license to engage and dispose of anyone who attempts to halt us on the assumption that they are in league with them.
He kind of goes quiet for a minute as he seems to be processing probably about 1,000 outcomes at once. He goes...
This is why Victor's probably used to be acting like that.
He goes, based on my assessment, the least damaging aspect to a course of action to the facility would be immediate termination of any adepts considered to have become heretics.
But that's my problem. We are outsiders, and the likelihood of us being stopped by a well-meaning adept who won't take no for an answer, we have a tendency to fire first to get the job done. I just wish to make that clear to you that we don't intend to harm innocents, but if innocents stop us, they are forfeiting that fact.
Understandable. However, due to the nature of the facility, everyone here is second amount to essential. As a result, you would require a means of granting authority to courses of action required. After a brief moment, you see one of his mechadendrites kind of start digging into himself.
Mm-hmm. And
then you just hear a very unpleasant clank as he pulls out a part of himself.
That is brutal.
And he's one of his mechadendrites slivers over to you, Victus, and hands it to you.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a fairly it's crude, but basically it looks like the Mechanicus symbol. It's a hybrid symbol of the Mechanicus and the Imperial the Titan or the Titan Ordo.
It's a Titan Forge. It's a Titan Forge icon.
Yeah. He goes, this should be allowing you to represent your authority here. It is a symbol of my ranking here, and only those who have gained my approval shall do it. If you find any particularly persistent tech adepts, merely show this to them, and they should obey any kind of indirect order you may present. However, if needs must, I am not opposed to the idea of you identifying yourselves as Inquisitors. However, please do not state that Detran is located on the facility. He has already been exiled once before, and he has no right to be here.
We will likely be trying to keep our inquisitorial status as hidden as possible for the time being. The last thing we want is unfortunate individuals knowing who we are.
Especially as Detran is now targeting me and my brother.
Indeed. Processing. In the unlikely events that you are unsuccessful, I would have to note, do you have any kind of contingency based in whether or not Detran is able to escape?
That is above our jurisdiction. If we are to report that this procedure fails and Detran continues to be a persistent threat, there is any number of possible outcomes of which I don't think I have to tell you.
Understandable. Please, I know it is. I have not, even though I have not spoken to your Inquisitor. Would you at least do me the liberty of identifying who it is?
For this particular objective, or our employer directly?
Both answers would prove useful information.
Victus probably turns to Melvin. Melvin, you've got their full identifications, haven't you?
Yes, and I would like to hand over some pre-prepared papers for this. Of what's it called?
So just their two names, I guess. So.
Oh, I thought it was Luca. We were going to. He's the one supervising this one.
Yeah, there's our original employer and Luca. Or I think it's Luca, anyways.
Luca would be.
Let's paint a ginormous target upon our employer if this goes south.
Okay. So
this might not.
So which one do you identify? Do you identify Luca, or do you also identify Harpak?
We arrived with Luca here, and if we are to burn bridges, I would rather burn the one to Luca than the one that actually hired.
Well, he did just ask for both of them. So, and this guy probably outranks most of us substantially. So, may as well.
Yeah, remember you guys are acolytes and not inquisitors.
I'm well aware. So I'll probably hand him both.
Yes, give him both the names.
The Inquisitorial official version, which is,
their full name and title and everything.
Okay. Yes, and very little else.
After he reads the first one you hand him, which is Harpak, and then he kind of just pauses as he reads the information about Inquisitor Valentino. He goes, "Oh, it is this one.
You have had dealings with him?
This Inquisitor is reckless and dangerous. He starts interfacing with the terminals around him, and it's kind of hard to say because all the language is coded and based on because he's putting in some access codes, and he goes, and but after about a minute's delay, he finishes. Goes, I feel like a necessary precaution is to be made, and I have signalled forth to the inquisitorial ship that was in contact with us. I have requested an order to remove as many of the Titans from the facility as possible."
Well, we'll be on the clock then.
So that's what that massive movement was. Very well. We'll see to it that this procedure is dealt with as fast as possible.
I apologise to cause any inconvenience. However, this would have been the 7th exterminatus should he enforce this order as deemed necessary. The loss of the Titans would be too great if he was to do it.
7th. This planet's been exterminatus 7 times.
Let me rephrase that. Luca has ordered 7 exterminatus orders.
Oh. I was about to say that it seemed hellish, but I didn't think it didn't seem exterminatus-y.
Oh, you'll be surprised. I mean,
Mechanicus are resourceful.
You think exterminatus is the worst fate a world can have?
Sometimes 7 of them.
Sometimes endings are better than terrible stories.
What?
Okay.
He just sighs and goes, "I do hope you are successful in removing Detran so the Titans can continue to stay on Keone.
We all are.
Unless there is anything you wish to address to me directly, that will be it for our communications for now. I do request that our communique be made in person so that it cannot be potentially monitored over any Vox connection."
Yeah, I do have a question.
Okay.
Query. Is there any potential sign of corruption among the princeps?
He takes a minute to pause and thinks before responding. There have been a series of new replacement princeps entered the facility not too long ago. However, they have not been bonded with a Titan, as one has not become available for them. It might be worth inquiring with those, and should need considers, torture be recommended to extract any information should you deem necessary.
If I may suggest, until any further updates from our team, perhaps it would be prudent to postpone any interactions between Princeps and Titans, as we believe the Princeps would be the primary attack vector.
Your conclusion I have come to agree with. But due to the Titans going to be periodically removed from Keone, the precepts won't be able to manage them anyway due to their carriers. So, and I will lay out instructions that all Titan precepts to maintain position on Keone until further notice.
That is all. We thank you for your assistance, Great Magus.
Is there any other questions you wish to address to me before you continue with your work?
Negatory.
You have done good for us. Thank you. We will do our best to do good for you.
Please make sure he doesn't escape. Praise the Omnisire.
Praise
the Omnisire.
Throne protect both of you.
And I'm going to cut it off there.
Cool.
All right.
I was really tempted to ask the Magos to gun. It's just like, this guy could do it! You're like the highest grade Mechanicus tech priest I've ever met. Bless the shit out of this gun!
Oh, dear. Okay,
oh god, have we taken a fronter to that room with us? I don't think.
Yes!
Yes.
Shit.
This man has seen a fronter and it's like, oh.
I think
okay
given how huge he was and how much shit that's been attached to him over the years, I don't think he particularly cares.
Okay, fair point.
Oh look, it's a lizard.
Oh look, it's a smaller version of me. How cute.
Cute.
Okay.
Nice.
I think I will give everyone 200 experience points.
Yay!
Yep, boy!
For our smuggle duggling, rip tuggling.
So that brings us to 3,200 total, yeah?
Yes.
Nice.
3200.
So if you spent your XPs appropriately, you'll now be able to get most of you will be able to get your rank up stuff. Your first rank.
Hell yeah.
Probably will, but I'm going to have to research that in time.
Fair enough.
For I am very tired and I have a 10 a.m. meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, and I haven't been eating the toilet for like the past 20 minutes, so I'm going to end it there.
Go to the bathroom, you huge nerd. It's been fun, everyone. It's been great.
Okay.
Time to go die.
Thanks for everyone for watching. This will be on YouTube soon enough. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thanks for tuning in. See you all later.